One of the great things about the Bible is that it teaches us the principles of life. It starts off in the garden called Eden. And from there we see a man and a woman coming together in holy matrimony. God performed the first ceremony, brought them together. Actually, he taught us how it's to be done. He created Adam from the dirt of the ground, and then he took from Adam a bone, a rib, and he built, actually, the Bible says, Eve, brought Eve to Adam, presented her to him. He was stunned, amazed. Wow, look at this. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And he named her woman. And in that very beginning chapter there, Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3, we see some of the greatest principles of life that have ever been uttered, that have ever been written. You want to know how to have a great marriage? Just look at what God did. He said to the two of them, when he performed that first wedding ceremony, he said, now you should go home. You shall go to your place of living here in the garden. And the two of you shall become one flesh. I sometimes use objects in teaching. I use a pair of scissors when I do the marriage class here because it's a very powerful illustration of what the oneness principle of marriage is really all about. Covenant marriage is different than contract marriage. In covenant marriage, two people become one. They don't lose their personal identities. They're still an individual as they were before, able to make choices and decisions, but they come together in a marriage union. And if you just look at a pair of scissors, if you open them like this is how you use them, open them up, but they don't work best when they're open. They really don't function properly when they're open. The only time they complete their purpose is when, in fact, they come together. Two different blades coming together as one. Two different people coming together as one. And in that process, scissors work for their purpose. When God said, you shall now go home, the two of you shall be one flesh. Yes, he was making a sexual connotation of that, but it was also much deeper, more than that. You shall, Adam, pour your life into your wife. You, Eve, shall pour your life into your husband. You will complete him because he's incomplete without you. He needs you in his life to be everything I created him to be. You need him in your life for you to be everything that I've created you to be. And thus the first marriage, the first family actually began with that marriage ceremony. Today, we see a great assault on marriages. We see a lot of divorce. Interestingly enough, there is somewhat of a close comparison between marriages of people who believe in God and marriages of people who do not believe in God or do not go to church. The divorce rate, I mean. It's amazing that you could look and see that and wonder what happened to this biblical principle. What happened that two people, especially who are serving God, don't come together in a oneness atmosphere. Create a spirit of oneness. It is actually the greatest thing that could happen to a marriage because God designed it that way. I needed things in my life that Shirley Ann had and was willing to invest in me. She needed things in her life that I had, and I was willing to invest in her. Two people working together, becoming one. It's a process. And I say that to you because everything about the creation was a process. In 6 days, God created everything that is, everything that we see in the universe, and gave us a beautiful principle, a process. A baby is not achieved in a day. It's a 9-month period of time normally. So process, day and night, one day, one 24-hour period, and then 7 days in a week. And then as we look at our calendar, everything about our calendar, about the way we tell time, it's a process. And marriage is a process. I tell people often when you come together in a covenant marriage, You get the opportunity to create that marriage. You don't leave the altar with a marriage. You have the opportunity now to go and create it. And it takes a lifetime to create that marriage, each giving to the other what they need. Often I will tell couples, sit down and take a piece of paper and a pen separately without the other one seeing what you're doing. And as a husband, ask yourself, what does my wife need from me? And as a wife, ask yourself, what does my husband need from me? And just list the things, the more important things, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, whatever the case might be. And then you swap lists and you correct it. I've given this little test to thousands of couples, and I've never had one couple get it exactly right, because I always make sure they prioritize the list. This is the number one thing I need, number 2, number 3, and write on down the list. The most important things first, the lesser important things last. Swap lists, correct the list, and hand it back. Now you know exactly what your husband needs from you. Now you know exactly what your wife needs from you. And you begin the process. And you know, it all starts with love, loving each other. And that's something else we need to focus on. I did not love Shirley because I needed her. I needed her because I loved her. Love is so important. Oneness is so important. And anytime you pick up a pair of scissors, just remember, marriage doesn't work like this. Like a pair of scissors, it works best when you bring those two blades together. Marriage works best when two people become one in a covenant marriage.